Genre here from Fiskal Finance, and in today's video we'll provide you a short overview of the HubSpot integration. During this video I'll give you a couple of tips and tricks and things to be on the lookout for. So first things you'll need to do is you will need to make sure that you actually have the HubSpot integration as part of your subscription. It is an add-on. You can do that by clicking on your username here in the top right, clicking on my subscription and adding the HubSpot integration there. I believe it is also currently available for a short trial period, and you can activate that from the integration screen. Going into the integration screen, you can click on integration, search for the HubSpot integration, click on the integration, and then you'll see a landing page where it'll ask you to integrate your HubSpot. You can click the button, it'll take you to a login page for your HubSpot. You will need admin user rights to integrate, and then once integrated, your data will be able to sync both ways. Once you've integrated it, you will get this screen, the setup screen with all of the detailed logs. So the first thing I would like to make you aware of here on the setup page is that the HubSpot integration is non-bidirectional. So you will need to either import everything from HubSpot into Cin7 or export everything from Cin7 into HubSpot. You cannot have a customer originate in HubSpot, sync over to Cin7, a sales created and shipped, and then sync back into HubSpot automatically. You will actually need to come into the screen and actually toggle it and make sure you update both sides. Then secondly, is that applies to both the customers and products as well as the sales side. So you'll see if I toggle here for export to HubSpot, the customer and the product will change to export only, and then import will also update to import only. All right, so first we'll cover the export page. So how does the logic work between customers in HubSpot and Cin7? Generally, a customer in Cin7 is the equivalent to a company in HubSpot, and then a contact in Cin7 is the same as a contact in HubSpot. There's a little twist for those if we import from HubSpot, but generally speaking, that's the way the rule and the logic is applied. So what happens if you have multiple contacts associated to one company? Cin7 will search for the customer level, company level in HubSpot, make sure that they are associated, and then link those contacts to that HubSpot company. If there is no HubSpot company in the first place, Cin7 will create the company in HubSpot and then associate multiple contacts to those. Right. Just as a quick, you can export multiple price tiers. You can choose which product descriptions, and then important to note, if you enable multi-currency in HubSpot, multi-currency is supported in Cin7 as well. And then you can force update HubSpot entities. So basically what this setting does is, even if the contact the contact or customer in Cin7 hasn't been updated, Cin7 will force updates to HubSpot to make sure everything's up to date. It will not wait for a trigger. Then you can set payment terms and billing addresses or shipping if you sync from Cin7 to HubSpot. You can also enable autosync for these in intervals. You can choose a start date or a lock date, and then choose a sync frequency and what time of date you want to start those to be synced. Right. Second up is the import from HubSpot. You'll see there's a little bit more settings here to show. Same logic applies as the previous time when we export to HubSpot, but importantly here we can choose which locations to pull those contacts from HubSpot into Cin7, associate those default accounts, and then If there's any products or so on, you can select what type of products they are and also what categories they are assigned to. This setting is quite important here. So import contacts without companies. So if we're capturing leads in HubSpot, it's totally possible that they aren't associated to any companies, right? It's purely just a normal lead, a private lead, if you will. And if you don't have this toggled on, Cin7 will not import those contacts if they're not associated to any companies. If you do enable this, Cin7 will create a customer and a contact with the same name, everything, and have them associated on a one-to-one level, if you will. Right, we've covered that force update Cin7 core entities, and then you can obviously choose the default accounts that's available in Cin7. So revenue, payment terms, taxation rules, and address types again. If you have any marketing consent items, you can toggle those on and off as well. And then we've covered the autosync button. Right. A very nice feature of this HubSpot integration is that you can link up HubSpot deal stages to Cin7 core sales statuses, right? So if we have anything like appointment scheduled, qualified to buy, presentation schedule, decision maker brought in, or contract sent, if it's closed in one, right, it can go immediately to a sales order. If it's just a presentation schedule or a contract sent stage, you can sync those to specifically a estimation or quote. So estimating a sales quote to be created, not authorized, closed in one, estimated or sales quote may be authorized. You can add in multiple additional deal stages in HubSpot. So waiting on deposit, and then once deposit's received, you can mark it as closed and sales order authorized, waiting fulfillment, and then Cin7 can also map those, right? You can see here there's a lot of stages in Cin7. You can tie up those steps too. Then link HubSpot and Cin7 Core customer fields. So in Cin7 Core, you can use additional attribute fields. It supports reporting. It supports all of your documents and templates that you maybe have, especially around shipping, and you need finer details of additional contact people you need to contact, or please ring the bell if you're arriving at the office building. You can map those additional fields and values to HubSpot fields, and then they can pull from HubSpot. Then you can also link specific Cin7 core fields, so status updates, the dates of the orders, the invoices, and the credit notes, so that your HubSpot's also updated. So if deals may be closed in one and they've paid, and your commission is due, for example, you can add those fields in HubSpot and map them accordingly, right? Then the product page. So how this integration works is it is firstly SKU sensitive. So if you have SKUs in HubSpot and you have SKUs in Cin7, it'll first do a VLOOKUP on a SKU level. If there's no match, it'll go on to a customer, sorry, not a customer, but rather a product name. If there's no product name associated, here on the log screen, you'll get an error list. It's a very nice export. You can go through that list and then quickly make the updates on HubSpot and Cin7. The customer stage, it'll also tell you these are the new contacts going to be created. It'll show you a list of all the contacts being updated, new ones added, changes being made. And then important to note here is if you have only a company in HubSpot, only the first address will sync into Cin7 from HubSpot. It will not support 20 different addresses for your HubSpot company. The sales stage, you can obviously download sales from HubSpot. If you change the setting to upload to HubSpot, this will change. And then also it'll give you any error lists of any sales that didn't sync through. And then there's also a detailed log of all of these errors that I just spoke about before. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, I think the most important thing to understand about this integration is that it's non-bidirectional, and you will need to forcefully come in here, toggle these if you really want to update them, or just have it as a one-way sync permanently, and then enable that autosync.